Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good evening. Are you ready for a tale that might just flip your head up right upside down? Are you sitting comfortably? Because I'm about to tell you the tale of how I have become my own Mandela effect. You ready to dive into this? Let's go. Last Thursday, we're now on Wednesday, so nigh on a week ago, my mother sent me a picture on WhatsApp of a paper clipping from the whole Daily Mail that my grandma had cut out and had saved in a diary for all these years. My grandma's no longer with us, R.I.P. And yeah, she was looking for all this stuff and she sent me this photo saying blast from the past. And it looks like me and it's got my name underneath it, spelled slightly incorrectly, but that's nothing new, even for the old Daily Fail. And it certainly looks like me, but there's two very crucial parts to this photograph. One, I don't remember taking part in this quiz. Two, see that right there? That mole right there? Yeah? That wasn't there. And that blew my mind just a little bit because, as you can see, it's not something brand new. I've had that my whole 42 years. Yeah, according to this photograph, no, it wasn't. So I asked my mother, and she said that it must have been airbrushed out, was the first answer. Then the second was, no, it must have developed in puberty, because I was getting quite anti at this point, and I was saying, Mother, you should know, you gave birth to me, Mother. And I did get a little bit of het up. And then when she sent me a photo of the face clipping from the old Daily Mail, when my mother and stepfather met through there, thanks to my nana and my grandma, their respective mothers, the mole's not on that. So I said, Mother, don't make me go upstairs and go and get my bag of photographs and go get every single photograph out and get my baby photo from my first ever photo you took of me at the studio. And I know for a fact it's got my mole on because I was born with it, Mother. I know I was born with it. You should know better than me. Because let's put it this way, if my grandmother was here right now, she'd be flipping freaking about to what I'm about to reveal. Because not just that newspaper clipping. Because, yeah, I did go upstairs in my house and I did go find my bag of photographs. And lo and behold, guess what? You ready? Terrible cameraman. Oh, look. No more. And it's definitely that side of my face as well, 100%. I know for a fact. Because it's there now. Yeah, on this baby photo, it's not. Yet you can if you look just close enough, right in the middle of my head at the back, you can just see what is the startings of what my mother calls my Mr. Majika, because I've got a triple crown and they all meet in that point. Obviously, I ain't got it now, and bald as a coat nearly. But yeah, so you can clearly see that's me. That is my baby photo. That is my very first baby photo that was ever taken. I'm less than 6 months old there. So yeah, I nearly fainted when I saw that. So it led me to look at every single other picture that I've got in that bag. And I bet you can guess exactly what I'm about to tell you, can't you? Not one of the pictures has got a mole on it. Not one. Not a single one. From that, to that, to that, to that, to that, to that. So that's me up to like 4 or 5 years old. But then it continues. And you can see these are old photographs. It's not like I've just knocked them up on Photoshop. These are family photographs. I have had these for time. This one here, this one especially, this. So you can see me there with my Indian costume on, looking like a right tit, obviously. You can very clearly see no mole. My mother shared this very photograph on Facebook within the last year, and I had a mole. The same mole has always been there. Because the thing is, back then, it didn't used to be large, round and pink. It used to be small, brown and shiny. But it was still a mole. It was still very pronounced a mole, and it only changed shape and colour when I accidentally shaved it at about 14 years old. When I was first making my forays into shaving my face, and I nicked it, and it bled like a right bugger. Yeah, and that's what makes that's why that photo got shared within a year ago on Facebook. And I had a mole on it. And the thing is, that just in any old photograph, this is an official, look at that, you can actually see on it, that's an official whole Daily Mail photograph. So I definitely didn't knock this up on Photoshop. You can clearly see that none of them are, but, I might be quite good at it. But no, I didn't know about that sticker until yesterday when I started looking, day before. I didn't even know that was there. I've had that photo in my possession for like 20 years. I've never known that sticker was on the back. Because I don't look at these photos because I've seen them 1,000 times and more. Because they're all me. I don't need to see my ugly mug any more than I do than when I look in the mirror every single day. So yeah, last two photos. So yeah, we've got up to late childhood, and then there you can see, so that's my little sister there that I'm holding. She was only born early 90s, so I am no older than 10 in that photo. And then this is the kicker one. This was filmed, this was taken, so that is that same little sister there from the last photograph, but maybe two years later. So if I was 10 in that, I was 12 there. And it was only 2 years after this that I shaved it. By mistake. And you're thinking right now in your head that it's clear case of misremembering, that I wasn't born with it. It appeared at some point in my life. As my mother now says, after the airbrushing incident, excuse, it was then, no, it developed in puberty, Andrew. No, mother, it didn't. I was born with it. Because like I said, if Grandma was still here to this day, she would be freaking right now. She would be freaking, because she'd be saying to my mother, Diane, what you talking about? Andrew was born with that mole. It's the thing that distinguishes him from a sperm donor. Because trust me when I say this, I am not just his spitting image, I'm almost his twin. Apart from that. And when I say I'm almost his twin, there is a picture that I used to have that I've no longer got of my mother stood at a Christmas party in 1981 with what looks like me stood next to her. Problem is, in 1981, I was inside her belly. The person stood next to my mother is my sperm donor. That's how much we are spitting images of each other. Like I say, I wish I could show you the photo. But trust me, that's a whole other video to talk about my sperm donor. Whoa, trust me, because then he's popped up more than once in my life without him wanting to be in my life. He's still managed to pop up every now and then. I've even been called by his name. by one of his ex-friends is how much I look like my sperm donor. But I'm getting off subject here. I digress. So yeah, that photo there is literally like a year, 2 at most before I shave my mole off by mistake. I didn't shave it all off. I just nicked the top off it, and it bled like a bastard for about 3 hours. And I can say bastard because I am one. But yeah, all these photos are all completely wrong now. Because I was born with this mole. I know I was born with this mole. I used to tell people, I got this off of my grandma. My mother's mother, as I will say now, is this the reason why that mole is on my face. It distinguishes me from my sperm donor. That's how important it is to my life. It's not life-changing, but it's very important because it's the thing that distinguishes from me from him. And for it to be then ripped away, literally ripped away from me by my own photographs. You can see now why I'm saying I've become my own Mandela effect, because I literally have. Is there any other explanation to what has happened here? Because it's not a case of bad memory, and it's not a case of misremembering. Because I'll give you 2 examples of how much my memory is not just bad or misremembers things. My memory is pinpoint accurate. 86 years ago, I went to Jorvik Viking Centre with Thorsby Primary School on my 3rd day of primary school from moving from Croxby Primary. We went to Jorvik Viking Centre. And I don't just remember going, but the smell, as soon as you walked in the door, it absolutely stinks. And I'll never forget that smell, because it still lingers now in my nose. Even though it's not there's no chance it's there, I can still smell it. Pig feces, yeah. But yeah, so not only do I remember that well, I was in Mr. Smith's class at the time. I did an essay on said trip to Jorvik Viking Centre and got an A for it. So that's how bad my memory is. But that's only 36 years. You say, come on, do better than that. Okay. I am less than 3 years old at this memory that I'm about to spring. I'm in my Silver Cross pram. That is how I can age it up to 3 years. Because I had my Silver Cross pram, my mum will confirm, up to 3 years old. And then I grew out of it. And I have a very vivid memory of being pushed in that pram by my grandmother's next door neighbour from down Cropton Road, a lady called Mrs. Doris Live, who is unfortunately no longer with us, who could back this story up. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. And I'm getting pushed down Orchard Park Road in Hull, where I was born, and a fire engine comes with its horns blaring, literally within metres of the path that I'm getting pushed down by my next door neighbour, Doris. Like I said, I'm less than 3 years old. As I sit here now, I am 42. At this specific moment in time, I'm 42 years old. So that memory is literally my earliest memory. And I've still got it clear as day in my mind, thanks to the fire engine. So now tell me that I'm misremembering. Now tell me that it's bad memory, because far from it. You've just heard me recite things from my life. Like I say, there's another one, a very, very funny story that my mother will tell you. When I cried wolf and rang the police when I was 4 years old, and this was in 401 Cottingham Road. And instead of thinking I was clever, Oh, sorry, no, not instead of. Thinking I was clever, I went and hid behind the curtain, stood on my windowsill, hid behind the curtain. And I got told off by the lady police officer, who told me that you shouldn't cry wolf. And I learned my lesson that day. You shouldn't. And I never did again. So whether you believe it's real or not, I am my own Mandela effect. I have physical proof that I have just shown you. I've just also recited how good my memory is. There's nothing wrong with my memory. I'm not misremembering. And it's not like a mainstream Mandela effect like lyrics in songs, We Are the Champions, or the girl without the braces in the Bond movie that she used to have. That's why Jaws fell in love with her. And they fall in love with each other, but now no. Or it's the Berenstain Bears or Bernstein Bears, whatever. Even I don't know that one, but I've seen it. The Monopoly guy is monocle. See, I can weigh in on that one. He did wear a monocle in the junior version, because me and my brothers played it endlessly. We loved Junior Monopoly. Monopoly guy had a monocle, 100%. I can't say other versions, but I can say for definite in this version, it was the Junior Monopoly in the UK, because we must have played that for hundreds of hours, me and my brothers. Even a bit more, you ready for something really completely random? I still remember the cheat codes for Doom on the PC. IDDQD and IDKFA, which was actually a brilliant troll by the makers of Doom, because I've now realised that IDKFA is an acronym, an acronym for I don't know fuck all. Massive troll from back in the 90s. Pin-up job, boys. So yeah, I digressed again. Can someone give me a rational explanation of how or why or no, not just what, not why, how is the what I want to know? I don't want to know why, or I don't want to know why, and I don't want to know when. I want to know how. That's the killer question. How? Because I was born with this. I've had it all my life, and I'll die with it. And it's only like it is now because I shaved it in my puberty years when my mum says it only formed. If it had only just formed, wouldn't I have been taking more care around it? Surely. Especially it was only like my first few forays into shaving. I think it was like my second or third time I'd shaved in my life. Oh. And then you've got the namesake one, just quickly before I drop off, because this has gone on way longer than it should have. The Mandela effect was all kicked off because I can't say it was hundreds of thousands, but definitely thousands of people all searched on Google in one specific day, when did Nelson Mandela die? When? Because a lot of people were convinced that he died in jail back in the early 90s. Now, I can say categorically that I know 100% that I not only saw him once after that, I saw him twice at very public events that you can go and get photographs of up on the internet. I'm not mentioning the name of that site, you know which one it is. So, the first one, 1995, South Africa, World Cup, Rugby, Union. South Africa win. Who hands them the trophy? Nelson Mandela. Couple of years later, I'm not going to say the exact date, but I can definitely say it's a couple of years later. It might have even been part of the World Cup, and I might be getting it mixed up. That will be my only part of misremembering. But I don't misremember the Spice Girls and Prince Charles, random, always go travelling together, them two, went to South Africa, met Nelson Mandela, and there's a very famous photograph of Jerry Halliwell giving Nelson Mandela a kiss on the cheek. Go look it up if you want. I don't need to, I watched it on TV. Just the same as I watched Jerry Halliwell coming out at the Brits. Literally coming out at the seams. So yeah, answers on a postcard, please. A rational explanation of what's gone down here. Because I'm stumped. And I've got a brother telling me that he was... See, another long story. He wasn't there from when my mother and stepfather first got together, but he definitely didn't come too long after, and even he will confirm that I've had my mole all my life. As I said, if my grandma and granddad were still here, my granddad wouldn't because he was a war veteran. He wouldn't be freaking. But my grandma would. She'd be going ape, literally, at the fact that my mother seems to think that I wasn't born with this, even though it's identical to my grandma's in shape and size and colour. It's just in a different place. My grandma's was a bit further round under her nose. Mine's there. But like I say, it didn't used to look like that. It wasn't shiny, round and pink. It used to be small, brown and shiny. Yet not according to these photographs. You tell me. Psyop. Glitch in the Matrix. Misremembering. None of the above. Answers in the comments, please. Much love. Peace out.